Hello everyone, this is CJ Novo 992 and today we are back with another brand new video. Today's video we are back in the old football and business for an early cup round preview that genuinely feels like it's the final, or at the very least a semi-final. But nevertheless, ladies and gentlemen, we are here for the fourth round of the Scottish Cup and it's Old Firm time. Oh nation, even just saying that right there starts to get the old goosebumps and gets those plums plumping. But before we dive into the video, as always, if you enjoy the channel, please consider helping the old channel out by hitting that subscribe button. It's free, it doesn't cost you a penny, and we still have 50.6% of our regular audience who hasn't hit the subscribe button. If we can start chopping those numbers down, even one at a time, the channel dream of 55k may just become a reality. But enough cheap cheeky plugging, let's get in to the actual video then, shall we? And as always, we will start off with the oppositional preview, which feels more like a oppositional update as we played Celtic not too long ago. But of course, we are here to talk about the apparent best team in the country. It's weird that people can come out and say things like that. If only there was a points-based league system, maybe stretched over, I'm just pitching this, like stretched over a long period of time where games come thick and fast, you have to win your games, and at the end of the season you can reflect and you'll be able to see who truly is the best team in the country. Maybe something, just for instance, just something like that, you know what I mean? Just, I'm not saying my idea is right, but something like that may actually be able to tell us who's the best team in the country, but I guess it isn't that way, so I will. It's a shame, we'll just never ever know. But thankfully, something we do know is the fact there's only been 2 matches played for either club since we drew 1-1 not too long ago. And for Celtic, both games were at Parkhead, very comfortable games, and they're probably as routine as you expect for a team that has no pressure on them anymore. Their first win after the draw and after the international break was a very comfortable and controlling 3-0 win versus Falkirk in the exact same vein and manner that we had versus Cove Rangers. All one way, all dominating. It was the exact same, and you're expecting them to win that game as comfortably as they ended up doing. Their second game, however, and in their most recent game coming into this one, I'll be honest with you, that was probably the best that I've seen Celtic play all season long, as they absolutely sliced Livingston apart 6 freaking no. So in fairness to these preview videos, in fairness to the audience that tunes into them, Celtic are coming into this game with a fair bit of form in this season, and with the way that they played versus Livingston and with the goals being sort of spread throughout the team, the players right now are coming into this game probably feeling the best that they possibly can with the circumstances that's actually happened this season. Now, regarding actual changes to the lineup and their style of play from the last time we played them not too long ago, I'm only expecting to see one change to the Celtic team, and that's going to be the inclusion of James Forrest down that right hand side for Celtic. Now, James Forrest is obviously just back from a very serious injury, but again, he's been on the bench, he's been getting minutes, he's been building himself up. He also came in against us, not you would have noticed in the last time, but he's been building himself back up and had a very good game versus Livingston when he went ahead and scored the goal. And with every game now being vital to his chances of making it into the Scotland team to make it to play in the Euros, I imagine he will be starting this game and he'll have something to prove. So to me, that right there, James Forrest on Barisic, is going to be vital in this game of football. You have someone motivated on their side and you have someone obviously motivated that we'll speak about very shortly on our side. And I think with Barisic struggling so badly last week versus Hibs, versus the pace of Boyle, that there is going to be interesting to look out for, because Forrest is very quick, but it's very rare you ever see Barisic have back-to-back bad games, so long may that continue the more, and we didn't see a repeat last week. And if I'm honest with you, that's just kind of done and dusted with the oppositional preview. I'm not going to sit here and drag the arse out it because it's the Old Firm. We spoke a lot about them this season. We spoke a lot about them a couple of weeks ago. We know their strengths, we know their weaknesses, we know, whether we want to admit it or not, that they do have good players and very dangerous players on their day. And again, we know under Kennedy now there's absolutely no pressure on them. They have been performing, scoring goals and looking good. But it's that fact right there for me that makes this game this weekend even more interesting, because not only is the pressure back on Celtic, that switch has been flipped and this pressure's right back on here. All eyes on them, especially if Kennedy wants to end up becoming the manager. I don't know what's going on there, but the pressure is back on this Celtic team, but it's also on the Rangers team as well, because unfortunately this fantastic league campaign doesn't come in to tomorrow's game. We don't have a 20-point cushion. This is a one and done cup game, and one team's gone home on Sunday night and another team's going to go through to the next round and be odds on favourites to go ahead and lift that trophy. And that right there actually leads me perfectly into the old Rangers side of today's video, because I just think that there, this one and done, this do or die scenario that we face on Sunday will hopefully relight that fire back in this Rangers team, that we can get back to dominating and dictating these games from the first whistle to the last. And that's something there that I've not seen since the 2-0 win on October versus Celtic, where we just made them look bang average. We didn't allow them to breathe on the ball. We went after them, we chased them, we just outfought them. For me, that's not been there over the last two old firms, where again I didn't buy into this whole that they've been by far the best team. To me, both teams have had phases and stretches of the games where they've looked the better team, but it's not been all Celtic over the last two, because let me remind you, they've not won either of the two. And I guess maybe the standards was always going to happen with the Rangers team because of the circumstances that we found ourselves in the league. So many points behind. We didn't need to go out there and win that game because we were so far ahead. So maybe that played its part in it. But again, none of that applies. The Mora, it is do or die. And I just hope we get back to playing the standard of football that we all know we can play. And the thought of us getting back to our ruthless, rampant best just gets me, ladies and gentlemen. And something else that gets me, by the way, is Barisic's answer to John Kennedy's quote that they are the best team in Scotland. Now, if you haven't seen it, by the way, Barisic was asked about it and he just says, it's the biggest joke that I've heard this year. That right there is absolutely glorious for the big man, and it did get a wee tickle in the old heart. I loved it. Now, some people might say, oh, we've given them motivation. This is an old firm game. There shouldn't need to be any more added motivation. And if we're talking about motivation, have they not had 10 in a row been sung for the last 8-9 years? Is that not enough motivation for them this season? It's going to take one quote from Barisic to get them back to their best. Come on now, ladies and gentlemen. That was a serve by John Kennedy, and that is just a return for your boy Barisic that puts that guy back in his box. I threw my shoulder out there, by the way. Jesus. But something else I love is the fact that Tavernier is back in full contact training today, and it'll be determined on how he reacts to the training today and tomorrow on whether or not he's involved in Sunday's game, and that just makes me a very, very happy guy. Now, whether we see him start versus Celtic, I think's quite slim to chances, but I do think maybe a option from the bench if we need to bring him on in the game. I think that would be the perfect scenario, because also I want to see our boy Nathan Patterson go out there, because let's remember John Kennedy was out here greeting in the press and greeting in the public view, trying to get this backup 19-year-old right back for Rangers removed for this game. I'm sure Patterson has a few things he wants to say in terms of on the park of what they were trying to do to that young man. So I say go ahead and unleash Nathan Patterson, let him run his absolute heart out, and give the Celtic manager another reason to fear the backup right back of Glasgow Rangers. Now, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, this kind of joyous, happy, go lucky sort of back and forth that me and you've been having so far in today's video is going to take a little bit of a knock right now, and it's a knock because we found out about Ryan Jack and Leon Balogun. We'll start with the latter first, as we've already talked about this. Balogun is out for a couple of weeks, so he's officially ruled out of this game tomorrow versus Celtic. So there's actually no backup cover if Tavernier can't make it into the right back spot. And also Ryan Jack is officially ruled out not only of this game, but the entire season and the Euros, ladies and gentlemen, as they finally go back from the specialists and we found out and they've identified the problem, but again the problem is going to take longer to fix, and it's just one of these situations, one of these scenarios that you just never ever like to see. I mean, you know, Ryan Jack loves two things, ladies and gentlemen. He loves playing for Rangers and he loves representing his country, and whether or not you like the Scotland national setup or no, you can't deny, if you know Jacko, or if you've ever heard Jacko speak, playing for Scotland means a lot to that lad, and he would have definitely been one of the first names on the team sheet at the Euros in the summer, a major competition. And because of this nagging injury, it's not only cost him the rest of the season for Rangers, but it's cost him for playing in a major tournament for Scotland, and that right there is genuinely heartbreaking. And I just hope the big man comes back next season, because again, the only small positivity, if there's any positivity come out from this, is they've now identified what's been wrong with Jacko for so long. So they're going to clear up, they're going to fix it, and from day one of next season we are finally going to see 100% Jacko that's free of injury, and I'm sure the big man will come back stronger than ever. But my heart absolutely bleeds for the laddie. Could have been a massive summer for him, but again, he's still lifted 55. He's still played his part this season, and I'm sure going into next season, he'll play his part as well. And that's unfortunately it, ladies and gentlemen, for the injury / team news. The only other player that's obviously missing is our boy Katic, but that's us done and dusted. That is the oppositional preview or oppositional update. That is the Rangers conversation, and that is the latest team news going in to this game of football. Now it's time for me and thee to try to do the impossible, and that is to predict an Old Firm. Go ahead and dive into the comment section below and share your opinions of how he's do that. I'll give you mine very, very briefly. I've been close the last twice, if I've been honest, with the Old Firms, and I'm feeling good about this one. I successfully called the Morelos goal in the last one, even though I'd done it for like 10 Old Firms in a row. But still, alright, I'm on a winner with that, and so I'm going to go with another Morelos goal, and I'm going to go with Rangers 2, Celtic 1, Morelos, and our boy that's on the wall, Mr. Ryan Kent. And that's it today for me, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video enough to be hitting that like button, as that helps people find the channel. And again, if you haven't done so already, make sure to be subscribing and helping the old channel out for the 50k dream. But if you've got involved in the channel, I will be speaking to you very, very shortly down there in the comment section below. But until then, take care of yourselves, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. All the best, and bye.